One strike and suddenly the world is at war. Welcome. In today's archives, we're looking at something much bigger than a single event, STJ Squad. We're looking at what happens when tensions between nations begin to escalate and how quickly those tensions can turn into real-world consequences. Recent reports show that conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States has intensified. We're talking missiles launched, drone attacks have been reported, and in a major development at sea, Iranian naval vessels have reportedly been destroyed during military operations. I don't know if you know anything about naval warfare, but it is so rare in modern times. But when ships are sunk and missiles are exchanged, it signals that tensions have moved far beyond diplomacy. And at the same time, global alliances are shifting, meaning Iran has strengthened its partnerships with Russia and China, two of the world's most powerful nations. And although neither country has entered the conflict directly, their diplomatic and strategic relationships with Iran are being closely watched by governments around the world. But why? Because history shows us something important. When regional conflicts begin to evolve, multiple alliances and military powers, the consequences can spread far beyond the original battlefield. Another critical factor is the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the most important shipping routes for global oil supplies. A large portion of the world's energy passes through that narrow stretch of water. STJ Squad, I'm telling you right now, if that route becomes unstable or blocked, the economical impact could be felt across the entire world. We're talking spikes in gas prices, shipping, global markets. We're talking rapid increased energy prices and delays in supply chains. And let's not forget about soaring insurance costs. A potential disruption to agricultural commodity flows like wheat, corn, etc. An even bigger conflict of military escalation and potential conflict. So again, if that route becomes unstable or blocked, everything becomes connected. So what does this mean for us, everyday people? It means we are living in a time where geopolitical tensions are rising and events happening thousands of miles away can still affect our lives today and on a daily basis. Meanwhile, history teaches us that conflicts between nations rarely stay isolated forever. Sometimes the consequences unfold slowly, sometimes they arrive all at once. This is where I get a little bit personal and tell you to please stay aware of your surroundings. Awareness matters, not just in the natural, but in the spiritual too, because this is only biblical prophecy playing out. Check this out. The U.S. and Israel appear to have entered into another direct conflict with Iran early on. Saturday, through a series of strategic strikes across the Islamic Republic, the move has yet again prompted unilateral declarations from within Iran hinting at a shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, a key maritime artery for oil and gas shipments from the Persian Gulf out to the Gulf of Oman and beyond. During this time, Mr. Trump declared major comeback operations were underway against Iran and called on Iranians to rise up and take the opportunity against the regime in Tehran. As a series of U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran unfolded, it responded by launching retaliatory strikes of its own on Israel and neighboring nations home to the major American air bases including Bahrain, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. A scenario involving a full blockade would have serious consequences for all sides. Iran would have to expect an immediate and decisive military response. The Gulf states would face disruptions to the exports of crude oil and liquefied natural gases, which would translate into declining revenues. Global financial markets will likely experience an almost immediate shock through rising commodity prices, inflammatory pressure, and a sharp shift in expectation regarding monetary policy. It is important to note, however, that Iran does not need to impose a complete blockade in order to create significant disruptions. Even the current tensions have already caused a sharp increase in insurance and freight costs for vessels linked to Israel or the United States, in some cases rising 20 or even 30 times. Some insurers have temporarily suspended coverage as are refusing to insure new vessels until the situation stabilizes. STJ Squad, it's time to repent and pray. Because understanding what's happening in the world right now helps people stay informed, helps people stay prepared, and stay grounded while global events continues to evolve. Because with tensions rise between powerful nations, the results are rarely simple. Sometimes the world is reminded, once again, the decisions made by leaders can carry consequences that ripple far beyond the moment. And sometimes those consequences shape history itself. If you enjoy deep conversations like this, the Spilling the Juice book series is available at spillingthejuice.com and on all major book platforms. STJ Archives, signing off.